Okay, we will call the October meeting of the Jasper County Plan Commission to order. We have a big agenda tonight. I'd ask, is there anybody outside? Officer, is there anybody outside? Can you tell them we're starting the meeting? Is there any, how many are we talking?
Open a window, I guess. Which Jeff freezes out there.
Okay, can you keep an eye on that? Just because if I know it looks like a crowd in here, and it is. I want to make sure people, aren't shied away from the door there. So we'll go ahead and call this meeting order, as I said. If everybody please rise and take off your hats if you can, and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We do have a quorum. We have a full plan commission tonight, so all 9 members present. So just a few things. This is a larger crowd than we're used to. I just ask that if you have cell phones, put them on vibrate or silent. If you need to have a sideline conversation, please go outside. We want to make sure everybody, that is speaking is not being overtalked by people in the crowd. Keep outbursts. We don't need, outbursts, any kind of that sort of things. Professional meeting, keep it efficient that way. And again, be respectful of others. Everybody, in our procedure, will have a chance to speak on every particular cause that we have, and we got 4 of them, 5 of them tonight. So you can speak on every single one of them at that appropriate time. So I'll make sure that happens. So we'll get started.
We also have a sign-in sheet back there for anybody that wants to speak.
Okay, yep, and we'll have a sign-in sheet when we get to public comment on the causes for people to.
And just to sign it up so we know who's.
Okay, does it, you have that, Kelly? Okay,
Yep.
yeah, if you'd fill that out prior to coming up and speaking, that's why we make sure get the minutes right. Yep. What's that?
It is on. But
Mine's on.
it's not working.
Am I? Yeah, this is on.
Yeah, the light's on.
Okay, I'll try to lean forward, I guess.
There it goes.
Okay. All right. So our first order of business is approval of the September 25 minutes. Those were sent out in the packet. Anybody have any additions, comments, questions on that? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve those. Moved by Dave to approve, seconded. All those in favor of approving the September minutes signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. Okay, our first cause is actually 2 causes. We're going to hear those in tandem. Cause PC-16-25 and PC-17-25. Richard and Misty Tillema. It's a rezone A1 to A2. And then the second cause, primary approval for a 2-lot subdivision in Wheatfield Township. So name and address for the record for the applicant.
Sarah from the Turning Point Surveying. I represent Rich and Misty Tillema.
Okay.
610 South Halleck, DeMott, Indiana.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. The request in front of you, we have about a 9.5 acre parcel of land. That's the remainder after a split. It needs to be rezoned to A2 regardless. Currently it's A1. It's on the east side of County Road 200 West, across from Pleasant Hill subdivision, which is also A2 zoning. So it's not out of the ordinary for the area. So that's the first. As you will see, there's a reduced copy of the plat showing the 2 lots to be created. It's actually kind of a family compound they're trying to work out here, them and one of their kids' families. We know it's a floodplain in the area, and they are fully aware of the requirements of building floodway, not floodway. So it's floodplain, which most of the area out there is. We've had soil borings on lot 1, doesn't require anything beyond the soil borings are fine out of the floodplain. lot two. They plan on building a pond together and using borrow to build up the areas of the home. So that's the general ish about this. I mean, regardless of any future approval on the next part of this, the rezone is necessary to become buildable at all. So that's our request.
Okay.
Any questions?
Any questions from the Plan Commission for the applicant at this time? Okay, you can be seated. We'll open it up for public comment again on on these two causes, PC 16 -25 and PC 17 -25. Anyone wishing to speak on these two causes? Once, twice. Okay, we'll close public comment on those two causes and bring it back to the Plan Commission here. Keep in mind on the second cause, the primary approval of the 2-lot subdivision. If we did have a motion and a second for that, we would go through the findings of facts in our books, which we'll do that if we get those that motion. So, and we would need a motion for the rezone and a separate motion for the primary approval. So the rezone would be the first one if somebody or further questions for the applicant. Moved by Lana to approve the rezone. Do we have a second?
Support.
Supported by Ryan. All those in favor of approving the rezone signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, so that goes to the commissioners as a favorable recommendation. What's the date?
Third.
November 3rd on that. Okay, so we still have the primary approval of the 2-lot subdivision. Any discussion on that for anybody? If not, entertain a motion on that one. The findings of fact, I got to get these new books here, but pretty much the same place. They are in section 20.90. Page 29 is where they start. They start on one page and end on the back of that page. There's 5 findings of fact that we would go through if we have a motion. Moved by Lana to approve. Do we have a second? Seconded by Jake. So we will go through these individually and we will vote on these individually. So the first one, subdivision of land is consistent with the Jasper County Comprehensive Plan. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, number 2, subdivision of land satisfies the development requirements of chapter 20.60 Jasper County Code subdivision types. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Number 3, subdivision of land satisfies the standards of chapter 20.70 Jasper County Code design standards. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Number 4, subdivision of land satisfies any other applicable provisions of the Unified Development Code. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And number 5, subdivision of land satisfies the construction requirements of Jasper County's construction standards. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, so the subdivision is approved, but again, the rezone goes to the commissioners.
All right, thank you.
With the favorable recommendation. Okay. All right, our next cause is PC 18 -25, Richard and Mary Buiter. It's a rezone A1 to A2 in Walker Township.
All right, again, I'm representing the client, but they are here tonight, or one of them is here tonight.
Okay,
What this is this is a 30-acre parcel of land, zoned A1. The requirements require 40-acre to split up a homestead. What we're doing here is actually splitting up the existing homestead on the property. It's up to the northwest corner of the property. This is, sorry, 1497 west, 1000 north, just east of County Road 200 west. And currently there's an existing residence and garage. We've located, throughout the required setbacks throughout, to make sure this, meets the A2 zoning. It's actually adjoins A2 zoning on the west side of the property. Everything on the west of this in this section is A2. So again, we're not looking at spot zoning or anything like that. And that's pretty much it. It's a requirement in order to split off the homestead to transfer it, to create a buildable lot.
Any questions from the Plan Commission for the applicant? Anybody? Okay, we'll open it up for public comment again on this particular cause, PC 18-25. Anyone wishing to speak? Please come forward. Once, twice. Okay, we'll close public comment and bring it back to the Plan Commission here for further discussion and or motion. Moved by Dave to approve the rezone. Do we have a second?
Support.
Seconded by Ryan. All those in favor of approving the rezone signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Favorable recommendation to the commissioners on, or they'll hear it on November 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, moving on here, our third cause. This is PC 19-25. This is an amendment to the UDO, section 15.05.080 permit and inspection fees. I'll let Mary, where's Mary at? You want to speak to this one?
Oh, sorry.
The UDO amendment?
Okay. So we just wanted to change some wording in the cost for like commercial projects. At this point in time, it has a max on it of $3,000. And we've got some project, it's based on total construction cost, yet it maxes out at $3,000. And typically we've got some, like our wind and solar doesn't have a max or anything like that. We've got several commercial projects that have recently come in that would have gone over that max by quite a bit. And it doesn't make sense to me that the other larger projects, you know, don't have a max on them, but yet we max this out at $3,000. So basically the suggestion was to just remove the maximum.
The language you have here is what you're suggesting at the bottom.
Like a 150 plus a 10%.
That is exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is currently. But then it has a max of $3,000. So she's, her suggestion is industrial warehouse, bulk storage, $150 plus 10 or 0.1% of the total construction cost and no max. Right?
Correct.
Okay. So that's on everybody's agenda there. Any questions for Mary on this or discussion? Okay, we'll open it up for public comment again on this particular cause, PC 19-25. We have anybody in the audience wishing to speak? What was that, Vince?
I was just curious if we were looking at what other communities were doing for situations like this. I just out of curiosity.
Anybody wish to speak? Okay, so we'll close public comment, bring it back to the Plan Commission again for a further discussion and or motion. Makes sense to me.
Yep.
I'll make the motion.
Moved by Jake to approve. Do we have a second?
That's it.
Seconded by Todd. All those in favor of approving the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So this goes to the commissioners as well for on the 3rd. Okay. All right. Our final cause of the evening, PC 15-25, Northern Indiana Public Service Company LLC, rezone ag to I2. There's 12 parcels for the rezone in Kankakee Township. 11.
11.
11 parcels. There's been a change there. Who's wishing to speak on that? Who's the applicant? If you come forward and
Let's set up a minute. I got some exhibits for the public that I'd like to make. So with Rick.
Okay.
If he was here, he'd do an introduction.
yeah, if you give your name and address for the record.
Absolutely. First of all, good evening, Commissioners. Rick Kolensky, Director of Public Affairs and Economic Development for NIPSCO, 238 Schererville, Indiana. Really appreciate the opportunity to be in front of the Plan Commission tonight. We have a rezone request at our Schaefer parcel, as you're very familiar with, a 3,200 acre parcel with generation assets on that. And currently just looking to come, we think, within the spirit of the comprehensive plan and move from agriculture to an industrial to allow for opportunity for growth into the future. And so I will let Jack come into that. And I'll start by saying too that we appreciate the relationship that we have had as we've moved forward with Jasper County. As you know, that there's been plans that there was a runway to, and continues to be, to close our coal assets and retire assets, and was a part of a team that talked and worked with the county on a plan for solar development that obviously that's a major, hit to the county and investments, assessed value, and worked proudly with the county on finding an opportunity for a solar development that I think helped to really bridge that gap and continue to call for some assessed value and allow for services and school and all that to move forward in a positive way. So looking for some opportunities here potentially in the future, and just want to position this property for potential growth as we move forward. So Jack,
Before you start, I just, we are following our meeting rule minutes, so you've got 15 minutes. And we know there's several parcels in this, and there's been the one change. I want to make sure you bring that to light with the ones that are in Wheatfield jurisdiction. And so I want to make sure you can use your 15 minutes, but there's a lot there to look at. And then, we as a plan commission will investigate each parcel or exhibit separately in our discussion. So if you want to go ahead, that'd be fine.
thank you. I'll let Jack get set up here as well.
Are both charts the same?
These should
They are
be different. No, but these should be the same as what you have in front of you. So I brought these so that the public could see what we're talking about. See, I'm just gonna hold this one. So, my name is Jack Hulls. I'm from DVG, representing NIPSCO this evening regarding this rezoning. And so we are, as we look at the parcel, I'm gonna point this way, but you guys can see that way. So there is a number of parcels in the area that are already zoned I2. And you'll see those as yellow on your exhibit. And then there are additional parcels in the area that NIPSCO owns that are zoned ag, that are directly adjacent to their I2 zone property. And we are looking to rezone all of those properties to I2, which would be consistent with the zoning that we have at the generating station. And so we have, we've broken this into section, township, and range. So that's a mile by a mile square. It's what the surveyors use to kind of designate property. And we prepared those as several exhibits. And so I can go through those one at a time if you'd like. So that might be helpful. And again, what we're doing here is we're strictly rezoning this property from ag to I2. We're not considering anything else this evening except for that rezoning effort. As part of state law, in order to do rezoning or to actually have a zoning ordinance, you need to have a comprehensive plan. And the county has gone through that effort and has done a pretty big job of master planning zoning in the county. They put together a comprehensive plan in 2022 that was updated. And part of that plan, we see that the areas that we're asking to rezone are to be zoned I2 as part of that comprehensive plan. So that's basically what we're doing tonight, is asking you to consider that effort of rezoning that property that is part of your comprehensive plan to be I2, to actually make that switch. All right, so exhibit one, which would be the first area of the property. So we're looking up here. There's a small property up at the corner where that use actually is that. So on exhibit 1, 2, 3, and 4, we see it kind of a sliver of property that goes up to the river. That currently is being used as the discharge for the water at the plant.
Okay.
And so it makes sense that those properties would be zoned I2 because it's being used currently by NIPSCO. So that's exhibits 1, 2, and 3, and I can show those if the public would like to see that more specifically. I can show that.
Yeah.
So we have exhibit 1 is this here. So we're looking at that's right there. Exhibit 2 is going to show you the
Oh, shoot.
There you go. Rick, I'm sorry.
No problem, but-
That could be my easel. Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna.
Plan Commission, you guys have this in your packets. Are you okay if we show?
Yeah, we've got the
Are you comfortable
exhibits.
with us showing the exhibit towards
Just
the
Be very clear on which exhibit you are talking about.
Yeah, so as we go through exhibits 1, 2, 3, and 4 are areas where NIPSCO is currently using for discharge of the water. We also have a power transmission main in there. So those 4 exhibits are relatively easy to address.
So you're classifying those 4 kind of similar is what you're saying.
All similar.
Okay,
Correct.
all right.
Exhibit 9, that we were notified that actually is within the town limits of Wheatfield. So we're gonna omit that this evening. That is not a point of conversation this evening, because the county does not have jurisdiction over this parcel. So exhibit 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all similar properties. They're agricultural current use. That's what they're currently being used of is agricultural. Many of those parcels are adjacent to solar fields, which are also a power generating type of use. And so we are asking that you consider turning those properties into I2. And so, like, again, we're going through this effort because of the comprehensive plan for the county shows that these properties to be zoned I2 in the future. That the purpose of that rezoning effort or the purpose of a master comprehensive plan is to establish areas within the county that are reasonable for a certain type of zone. So at the generating station, that is clearly an industrial type of use. There's other types of industrial uses in that area. I believe US Gypsum's up there. So there's other industrial type uses. You don't want to have industrial zones just kind of spot here and there all over the county. That doesn't make a lot of sense. It's pretty disruptive to neighbors when you have that kind of spot zoning. So it makes sense from the comprehensive standpoint that the zoning was clustered in that area. And in order for NIPSCO to proceed with any plans that they might be developing in the future, they need to have some surety that those properties are going to be zoned in accordance with the comprehensive plan. And so that is what we're here for this evening. So hope I didn't use my 15 minutes.
No, you got about 6 minutes left.
All right.
So
Well,
anything else?
I will defer to the public. They can ask some questions.
Well, we're gonna,
Or
as
you
a
guys
board
can-
first,
Yep.
Plan Commission. So you're complete,
Yeah.
okay? Anyone on the Plan Commission have a question at this time, or discussion, while the applicants are up in front?
One, is there any,
Dave, hey Dave, pull your microphone down there, so.
is there any planned development at this time on any of the parcels?
I am not aware of anything. I've been hired to do the rezoning effort for NIPSCO. So Not that I'm aware of. Now that it would make sense that they would be making plans, but they're, as we relate to petitions, the things that we have to consider are the petitions that have been filed with the county, and this is the only petition that has been filed with the county at this time. And there is engineering effort and a lot of effort actually that needs to go into any future submittals. And we wouldn't want to spend the money on those unless we go through this process. The zoning effort is and actually any type of project that would come before you would require many, many steps. And this is the first step along that road.
Or maybe for clarity, I think one of the reasons Dave asked that question, whenever.
Todd, pull your mic down so people on the phone can hear.
Whenever we consider a rezone, there has to be a reason why. I assume you've operated with it zoned the way it is currently for a number of years. So I guess that's our question, or my question is, why do we need to consider a rezone?
So we submitted what's called an expedited resource study to MISO for an opportunity for generation growth. There has been some newspaper media that covered that as well. It was a public process. And we did submit that site for potential growth and opportunity. So as we move forward and look for generation assets to continue to meet the needs of customers, we want to make sure that we have the ability to grow there if indeed that we move that project forward. That is really the main thrust of this potentially moving forward.
So if I heard that right, power generation, that's what
Yes.
it said.
Yes, that there is an ERIS study through MISO that gives us the ability to go through that process and look for an opportunity at particular location or site to allow us to expedite that process and have a study on our ability to form generation, create generation, build generation that will meet customer needs. And so that actually has been filed. The site at Schaefer has been mentioned as an opportunity for development, and here today, this will help us give that opportunity a possibility.
What's MISO? I'm not familiar.
Sure,
with
it's the Mid-Continent Independent System Operator. They are the actual true folks who actually manage our grid. All the generation, not just in NIPSCO service territory, but I believe it's a 13-state territory that absolutely manages all aspects of the transmission grid generation, so we can continue to make sure that we meet the needs of customers. It's a regional transmission operator.
Sir, my understanding is Senate Bill 425 would allow NIPSCO to increase generation capacity without local zoning because you've had power generation on that property already. So explain that to me, why the carve out in Senate Bill 425 for energy production and transmission doesn't get what you need done.
You know, I can't tell you that I stand up here and fully know that Senate bill to be able to talk intelligently about it. I know that we feel that it's the right play, regardless of if we have a relationship with the county, that we would want to make sure that anything that we're going to do it correctly. And I think to use that opportunity that I'm not fully aware of, and we can look into it, we want to make sure that we're doing everything up front and out in the open.
Anyone else from the Plan Commission wish to ask a question or discuss anything at this time? Okay, if you gentlemen would move aside there, we'll have you come back up here. Okay, we're going to open up to public comment. And per our rule, it's 5 minutes per person. Again, where's the sign-in sheet? Is it back there? We need you to sign the sign-in sheet where. Yeah, or something, Kelly or somebody, we can bring that up so we can go down through it there.
One person.
Okay. But who is that first person?
One person.
Who signed the sign-in sheet that wishes to speak?
Oh, yeah, Kevin's there.
He did it for the other causes. Okay, sorry. Sorry. Okay. All right, please give this lady your ears. If you state your name and address for the record
Sure.
at 5 minutes.
Sure. My name is Karen Burton. I live at 3419 Rachel in Wheatfield, Indiana.
Go ahead.
So I think I can speak for a few people here that we do know what's going on, and they're trying to get more power for a future data center. I mean, it's on several websites for a proposed data center in Wheatfield, Indiana. We were told that the Shaper Station was going to be retired and that we wouldn't even have the coal generation. And they know that they cannot power a data center if they don't have at least coal, but certainly it's not going to be done by the solar or wind. So they have to get it somewhere else. So now we know that they're proposing to use this land to build, whether it's going to be more coal generation or maybe gas generation to power these data centers that we do not want in Wheatfield, Indiana. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep please. Whether you're favor or against, let's just keep things calm here. We have Doug Burton.
Yes.
Yeah, name and address for the record for people on the phone, please.
Doug Burton, 3419 Rachel Lane.
Okay, go ahead.
I think it's important for the commission to consider what it is you're asked to approve here. And what you're asked to approve here is to allow potentially a generating unit to be put on these extreme parcels of property that's now agricultural. That could be exactly where new generators are going. Think about the people that live around there and the impact that it has on them. I'm not for that at all. This is a complete disruption. And I can't believe that they would send people here that don't know what exactly it's going to be used for and can't explain that to you fully. Until you know that and understand that, I think you have to assume the worst case scenario. And that is that it's going to impact people that live near there. And that's your people. That's the people you represent. And I ask you to consider that. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Tony? Terry. Come forward.
I never got good grades in handwriting.
Nate, speak into the mic, name and address for the record.
I'm Terry Wells and I'm at 3474 East, 500 North in Wheatfield. I don't know, these guys evidently don't do any research because according to the Indiana Economic Digest last month, the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, and the Indiana Department of Environmental Management both said there's been filings by NIPSCO for building a generator there. And the date line for completion to be providing electric is 2027. Now, I would assume that if it's those are the companies or the organizations that are having these filings, I would think these gentlemen would know about it. And the IDM, the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, also in the filing shows that the plant that they're proposing will emit more than 7 million tons of CO2 per year, which is twice what Schaefer and Michigan City produce now. And so if we were putting all the windmills and solar to try to reduce the carbon, why would we allow them rezoning to double what we've been trying to eliminate? And so if this is not a done deal, I would propose that you representing us as Jasper County citizens and taxpayers, that you would actually take a vote and vote no with the amendment to that NIPSCO cannot apply for rezoning for 5 years. give them 5 years, let all this data center stuff just settle down and then see where we're at. Thank you.
Paul. Schroeder, yep, come on forward, sir. Whose phone?
Please silence your phone.
Whose phone, please? Go ahead, sir.
Okay, my name's Paul Schroeder. I live at 2837 1350 North Wheatfield. I guess the main thing that I focused in on what you said, and I don't want to misquote you, but I think it was something about you don't want to disturb the local residents. So you wanted to rezone it to industrial. Okay, that area was disturbed when NIPSCO put the Schaefer generating station in. 1350 was cut, doesn't go through to 49 anymore. That area has been put through the grinder with the solar fields in there. When the solar fields would let out after work, try and get to your house. You're going the wrong way. They're passing each other going 70 miles an hour in a 35 zone. Nobody's doing a thing about it. Everything that they do and everything that they propose disturbs the local residents. Thank you.
I'll pass it down. Yeah. Kelly, if you just want to keep that and can call off who's next, he's right behind you. Yeah. Yep, you're next. You come forward, state your name and address for the record.
My name is Tony Schoonveld. I live at 4401 Hawthorne Road. I agree with what they said. The only thing that I was concerned about is I dig a lot of ponds in Jasper County, so I've noticed the water levels going down over the years. We don't have the snow and precipitation in the wintertime like we used to. And we really don't have the rains like we used to. I mean, we're actually in a drought right now with Northwest Indiana. So my concerns is, you know, we have all the new subdivisions going in. I like seeing growth too. I understand it. I don't agree with everything. I've been here my whole life. I kind of miss the way things were, but I understand. But wells are going to be going down. And if something is proposed, you know, like they were saying, that I read the same thing. Those, I don't know my wording sometimes. That industrial part uses a lot of water. And if you read where these other stations went in, some say they use the water and it returns back into the ground, but it's not the same. And these people are, their water is affected. Some say it's a closed system. Well, you're still pulling 1 million gallons out of our area, which we really don't have. So like I said, I just see it because I dig ponds. As we dig ponds, the water level is getting low and lower. People are calling me out to redredge because there's a foot of water and they got a 14-foot pond. So that's all I'd like to say. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Anybody else, Kelly? Anyone else out there wish to speak? Yep, come forward and sign the sheet first, if you would.
Ken, are we going to ask for comments on Zoom?
We can after at the end, yeah.
Howdy, name's Chad Bales, been here 52 years, live at 1276 East County Road 925 North Wheatfield. And for 52 years I've lived in this county. And I watched the northern part of this county turn into an industrial nightmare. We put solar fields in. It's supposed to save the environment. If it's supposed to save the environment, then how come California just shut down a $2 billion solar field? It's not the solar that's going to help us. Our water level sucks. It's gone down. You can ask anybody around. They put a data center up at New Carlisle. If you've been up there, y'all seen what they've done. Talk to the local residents. Their water sucks now. Used to be clean. It's got a bitter taste to it. And like they said, the traffic in these guys, just outrageous. They fly up and down 900. They fly up and down all these other county roads. And it's getting to be a joke. That's all I gotta say.
Who's next? Yep, just name and address there. Keep speaking to the mic.
My name's Carl McLemore. I live on 2313 East, 1350 North Wheatfield. I'm about 700 yards away from this facility. My question is why is it now instead of last fall that we were prepared for this? I drive that road almost every day. There's much happening in that area. It's not just ag right now. They have leveled that. They've laid foundation and gravel. There's structures. There's trucks entering and exiting daily. I moved into this area about 3 years ago with the hopes of being here for the rest of my life. I would love to be buried on the property that I bought, 1350 North Wheatfield. And there's a lot of fear going on right now because there's not answers. There's vagary. There's nothing really pointing towards exactly what's going to happen. And that strikes a lot of fear into the residents around us. Myself specifically, I have a young family and I'd like my kids to take over my property one day. How can they if I don't even know this is going to be an inhabitable place to be within the next few years, none, much less my kids' generation? I would like some answers to that. Thank you.
Good.
Hi, I'm Michelle Hoffman. My address is 14225 North 200 West Wheatfield. And I just want to say that these gentlemen come today in front of you acting like their company is this exemplary, ideal company. What have they done for us as a community? They've polluted our waters. They've disrupted our lives in this area. In what they have started doing and everything through the solar panels, saying that they're closing their coal generation. They're not. They're transferring now to gas generation, which is going to increase the I'm sorry, I'm like having like a panic attack almost. They're just going to start their yeah. You got it.
You're okay.
You got it. On your side. We're on your side. I'm sorry. So anyways, my brain's not even like functioning. I'm really sorry about this. But I understand why they want this rezone and why they're needing it. They are ag. They have ground that has been ag since 1970. It should have never have stayed ag as long as it has for the first thing. I get why they're wanting to rezone. They need to have it all in compilation with what they are. They're a utility company. They have to be on I-2. But the problem is that they're only wanting now to rezone to I-2 because of data centers, because they have the NIPSCO GenCo now, where they need to have their bigger combustion turbines in order to be able to produce the energy for the data centers. Where they're building these turbines at right now that is supposed to be for the gas generation for NIPSCO consumers, is that on part ag already? Have they taken and rezoned or came to you guys before they started building this to make sure that they were in compliance with their zoning? Out on what road are you guys building these on right now with the electricians? Is it 1350? Is everything they're doing on actual I-2 zoning, or are they over in their ag area too? Has anybody ever looked at that? Are they even in compliance with this so far, what they're building? Have they come to the county and said, hey, we're planning on doing this? They're acting like now that they want to be out in the open. Let's let everybody know we don't want to do anything behind closed doors. But yet They're always signing NDAs with our commissioners, our councilmen, for all these little meetings that they have together. What has this company done for our county since 1970? Polluted water, polluted our air. Now they want to do it even more. I get the need for the rezone, but are you going to rezone every single parcel? Why has their discharge into the Kankakee River never been rezoned? It's under my understanding that I-2 zoning, you pay more in property taxes. So you have been giving them this break since 1970. Rezone it, fine. But you guys need to keep track of what is happening in this county and how you are letting things go. And then, oh, one more thing, water. Did you know that in 1980s, late 1980s, I think it was 1988, when we had that terrible drought, Indiana DNR even came to Jasper County and said that we need to monitor any deep wells for high quality wells, which would be their high withdrawal wells. Because we can't survive and keep going with the way that we are using our water. It affects Newton County and everything downhill. We're getting the effects from what's happening in New Carlisle.
To cut it off there. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Frank Newton, 12192 West Stahlbaum Lane, Wheatfield, Indiana. I think what we need to take a look at in their quest for industrial zoning is they want to build a new gas facility for energy. If you look at their exhibits and stuff and you've got them in front of you, it's a vast array of parcels on this property. Their gas powered unit is only going to take one portion of that. So what are our plans for the 2 parcels you want up a mile away from where you want to install the gas powered generating unit? What about the 1 parcel that's a half a mile away? Nowhere close to where they're going to put in the gas thing. We got to be careful about approving this industrial zoning, because it's going to leave ourselves open for, if they do put in the gas unit, of course, the data center is going to go in. But it still leaves us, since it's a hodgepodge of parcels they want approved, what's going to happen 2 years down the road, 5 years down the road? It opens us up to a vast array of different types of industrial settings on their property since it's already been approved. I find it kind of ironic they didn't come to us and bring any studies, any recommendations from IDEM, from the DNR, since the river is going to be involved, from our surveyors. They came with nothing. They just, hey, here we are. We want to change this to industrial now. And I think we should walk very carefully on approving this, because it could have a huge effect on northern Jasper County. 5 years down the road, we might get some industry in there we don't want to see. And it's funny too, because NIPSCO's got a dozen brownfield sites throughout Lake and Porter County, everywhere. You can put a unit in there. It's already brownfield. So you don't have to worry about IDEM as much. You don't have to worry about the DNR as much. But they, for some reason, want to put it in Jasper County. I think the commission here should walk very carefully on approving this until there's at least a few more meetings. And I'd like to see the community be more involved with our elected servants. We've got some really educated people that know what they're doing, that they've offered, and they've been turned down so far by a lot of our elected servants. So I just hope you guys walk carefully and realize this doesn't have to be done tonight. Let's go further into it and let's see what's coming up. We don't want to do this fast, and we've got to watch ourselves. So, all right, thanks everybody. Thank you.
Hello, Carly Schroeder. I live at 12303 North, 400 East, Wheatfield, Indiana. And I am a retired infantry captain. I have never shown up to work and presented something and had such a lack of attention to detail to present to someone to make a choice on. You are coming to people that have had land taken over by solar farms, and now we can't farm that area. We've been promised that we were gonna get jobs, and the jobs were outsourced to other individuals. We've heard that, you know, there might be solar, you know, farm, or the data mining that they're doing. Those require a lot of water. But more importantly, people are overlooking the fact that if you're taking a contract to supply them power, in a lot of counties, that ends up by going to the ratepayer to help cover the difference. So we, as the community, the ratepayers, would be paying for the same amount of electricity, but our rates would go up because there is no law to enforce that the data centers that you're building for are actually held accountable for paying that difference. So I commend you guys for coming here, but you guys saying that you're coming here in transparency doesn't feel honest, at the very least.
Right. I do.
Don Carlson, I live at 430 East, 1300 North in Wheatfield. And what I want to say is that NIPSCO has just been not tremendous, okay? We have gotten our road destroyed. They had to literally come in this summer and re-blacktop 1300 North, all the way out to Route 49, due to solar panel trucks, due to their trucks bringing in limestone and every other concoction that they want to bring in. Their dump trucks bringing in fly ash down the road. And now they want to build a data center that's going to be run by gas. What's going to happen when you put it in and there's gas in that, and all of us people down 1300 North that's on LP, that's on propane gas? What's going to happen when that gas hits the LP gas? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about the people's lives? I had to ask the county to put hidden driveway signs on our road, on each end, from 49 and from St. Pierre. And they're still flying down our road. I have a son that's like 25 years old, 26 years old, autism spectrum. And there's other people that's up and down our road the same way. They can't even be out and play because people's flying down the road. Thank you.
Jesse Mish, 2590 West, 900 North, Wheatfield. I guess my question is, why should they allow this to be zoned industrial when they have most of a plant that's decommissioned, that's just sitting there? Are they going to tear that plant down? Or is this just another 11 lots of junkyard to go with the thousands of acres of solar panels and the 1,000 acres of Schaefer plant that does not work? So why would we give them more to pile more junk on and more pollution at this point? Thank you.
Brad Switzer, 733 West, 900 North. Just wanted to, nothing new, kind of repeat what everyone else said. I get it. I understand from a standpoint as far as trying to get more energy. I work for DOE, so I can kind of see like different unleash America's energy is what our secretary is always like pushing. There's different projects we work on and I see things all the time. But I also go through NEPA and EPA forms like crazy for different communities that have all these projects. And of course, everyone's heard about New Carlisle, how that's up there. I I just built off 900 last year. And so I thought I was getting away from it. I thought, past 49, that was everything with them. We're not going to see, solar, all the wind come. And then everything started to expand. And so my concern is obviously everyone off 1350 is going to, rightfully so complaining. I don't want it to expand and get any worse. And then also with the water issue, that's just not good. So I'm kind of losing my train of thought here. But I mean, I get it from their standpoint. They're trying to expand. It's a good strategy, like how they're coupling everything together. He said earlier he doesn't want to have sporadic and I lost my train of thought. The other gentleman said it earlier, disrupt. And so by combining that, it's going to make it easier once you get it all consolidated. Yeah, it's going to be a lot easier. So that's obviously that's why they're going that way. But no, just my 2 cents. I can kind of see why they're doing it. I disagree with it. And I think as Jasper County, like I'd like to raise my family here and I don't want to be next to solar panels. And I don't know if there's been any studies on property valuations next to solar, next to wind farms. I can't think that it helps or there's going to very much, but yeah, as a property owner, it's another concern, but that's all I got. Thank you.
Gina O'Brien, 403 3rd Avenue. I look around this room tonight and I see generations sitting behind me. And my question is really proposed. It's a question and not a statement, but would you want your families, your children, your grandchildren living in this area with what you're proposing to do? And I'm posing that question to everyone on the board tonight too. So please take that into consideration when you're making a decision. Thank you.
Have anybody else on the list, Kelly? Anyone in the audience wish to speak? You've already spoken, sir. So we have Zoom, we have questions. How do we take questions on Zoom?
They can speak. I mean, we
need to, if we have anybody on Zoom that wishes to speak, you can, is there a way to raise your hand? I believe so, right? You can raise your hand. Mary will unmute you. We need your name and address for the record. And you'd have 5 minutes. You got anybody, Mary?
No. You do.
We got Ashley Williams, looks like.
Hi, I'm just speaking in case my comments have already been read.
I'm sorry. You give your, what did you say? Name and address for the record there, and then go ahead.
Sure. It's Ashley Williams. I live at 401 First Street in Michigan City, kitty corner to NIPSCO's other coal plant at the Michigan City Generating Station. I just want to make sure that my comment wasn't already read, just to make sure I'm not being redundant.
No, go ahead. It was not.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm speaking today on behalf of Just Transition Northwest Indiana. We're an environmental justice nonprofit that serves the Northwest Indiana region. And I rise in opposition to this rezone petition request before the Plan Commission. And at the heart of my comments, it's imperative to uphold the health and safety of the community. We must protect our precious farmlands and the Kankakee watershed from further industrial development that could lead to loss. In Jasper County, you were under a recent local emergency disaster order due to an unprecedented drought that is impacting our farmers and the well-being of the community. And I believe that this rezoning could exacerbate that emergency, and I want to share why. The public has not been provided with any clarity from NIPSCO on the anticipated use of these parcels. However, as evidence in recent public filings, we have reason to believe that NIPSCO is seeking approval of this rezone to build its 2,300 megawatt gas plant, which is currently pending review before IDEM for its air permit. Of paramount concern is the construction of this plant to exclusively serve artificial intelligence-driven data center developments coming to northern Indiana. These facilities, Meta, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft are being met with vehement opposition across Hoosier communities and threaten to drive up our electric bills, drain our water supplies, and pollute our neighborhoods, all while projected to pocket billions of dollars of tax breaks statewide. The impacts of AI are already being felt far and wide in places in Northwest Indiana. In my own community, Michigan City, Phoenix Investors is building a data center on a brownfield site that has already been cited with water and soil violations by IDEM just actually this month. This rezoning further incentivizes NIPSCO to capitalize on the AI race as directed by its majority stakeholders, including Blackstone, which owns nearly 20% stake in the utility and manages more than 85 billion global data center portfolio. In return, Jasper County must grapple with these dire questions. Will the county support a gas plant that does not benefit NIPSCO customers and only serves data center growth? If the county is burdened with the project that harms communities in terms of insurance, job safety, health issues, and otherwise, and impacts municipal bonds, who covers these liabilities then? And who holds responsible parties accountable? This petition, as mentioned before, also proves to be a slippery slope. Co-locating a gas plant next to a data center is a strategy that is often and broadly employed by utility companies. And I just want to ask, does Jasper County want to welcome the prospect of data center in their backyard? NIPSCO's existing operations at the Schaefer plant already pose a public health detriment, as spoken today and in this room. Schaefer ranked one of the worst plants in the country for toxic pollution and greenhouse gas emissions and has actively contaminated the groundwater on site at the Schaefer plant. The turbines from the proposed gas plant could emit harmful toxins, and this new plant could release the equivalent of 7 million tons of CO2 every year, making it the third worst carbon emitter in the state of Indiana. And asking another question, can Jasper County afford more pollution that inhibits livelihoods and a prosperous future for our families? If the answer is no, or uncertain of any of these questions, we implore you on behalf of Just Transition Northwest Indiana to deny or at least minimum table this rezoning request to allow for the full scope of the anticipated use to be disclosed and a full public process be carried out with proper time and due diligence given. If NIPSCO does not receive this request, it will be challenging to bring about a gas plant and fulfill the energy required for these AI-driven data centers that are already imposing undue harm to residents across the region.
Ma'am, you have 1 minute. You'll need to wrap up here.
Oh yeah, I'm ready wrapping up. Yeah, thank you so much. I just want to say, therefore, your decision tonight carries immense weight and will make a tangible difference. So just want to say, please protect the residents of Jasper County, conserve our rural ecosystem, and use this vote to set a precedent for all county governments and on behalf of all Hoosiers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have anyone else on the Zoom? Is there anyone else on the Zoom? Do the raise hand button. Going once. Twice. Anyone else in the room that has not already spoken? Please come forward.
Welcome board. My name is Scott Hare, Wheatfield, Indiana, 9885 North, 200 East. Been a resident since 2017. Looked around the area, watched the solar come in and all that. Nobody mentioned the 75-foot high power transmission lines going along 49. I can't believe that nobody knew about that already. So I work for a gentleman that lives on that road that got certified letters that they're putting in the high power transmission lines along that road. So even if they don't put a generation system in, they can still bring the power in. I don't know if we can stop this beast, but the 24-inch wells, I used to farm, we pulled 8-inch wells, 400 gallons a minute. It drops the water table. These are 24-inch wells. Okay. We don't have the water for that. We've seen other towns go down. I operate on a shallow well now. I imagine, that's going to go dry. Who's going to be responsible to replace that? I am. Who's going to be responsible to build this structure? We are. Our rates already went up. NIPSCO's already charging us for it. We're going to pay for it. Our state's already given tax breaks to these companies to come in. That's why they're in New Carlisle. That's why they're in Michigan City. We're welcoming them here. Please don't do it in our town. Thank you.
Anyone else that has not already spoke? Or on Zoom that has not already spoke? Going once, going twice. Okay, we will close public comment and we'll bring it to the applicants. You have 5 minutes for a rebuttal.
Thank you again, Plan Commission. And not really a rebuttal, just some comments based upon some of the things I heard as well, and just share some facts as well. Again, we don't have a project to present tonight, so therefore there is a lot of time for due diligence and opportunity. And the spirit of the comprehensive plan, we need the zoning in place to potentially move forward the project. There was a question someone had mentioned about something that was petitioned or out there in the public. I did state that we did submit a public process through MISO, through their ARIS program. The infrastructure that's already there, the transmission lines, all the other things, that's a benefit because that's existing infrastructure there that allows us to actually choose to move the electrons with other generation sources. So just want to hit on that. More than anything, we want to be good neighbors through the process. We want to have open dialogue. We want to have communication. We want to make sure that we continue to have the conversation. Anything that were to move forward, we would go through the normal public process and share everything as we move forward, get feedback from the community, from the proper boards and all approvals. Any project will go through that process. We envision anything that we would do out there is to where that I think a lot of the county is familiar with the generation that's happening there. It would be very similar to things that are happening there right now. We don't intend to impact the community in a negative way. We intend to be a good neighbor. We intend to be a good citizen, create existing jobs, retain jobs, and be a good taxpayer. There was conversation about cost as well. We did get recently, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, a GenCo declination that was approved through the IURC. And what that does is that gives us a sister company that is completely separated from our rate base. And when we do bring on generation that would be specific to serve a large load user, could be a data center, could be a tech company. And if it went into GenCo, the actual user of the electricity would be responsible for that investment. That would shield the customers. And that is really the very positive aspect of our generation company that we would move forward. It would be regulated as well. NIPSCO would have a PPA, a purchase power agreement with that particular company, and it would shield our customers from any risk associated with that investment. That we have more information on that. We can share that in due time. There's been articles on that as well. And so we'd be happy to share. But I stand up here to say that we ask for a positive recommendation to the commission. If there's a need to discuss more, we're happy to do that. But we appreciate the folks in Jasper County, the neighbors, our partners, and we continue to want to be a good corporate citizen and work here with you.
Finished? Good. All right. So we'll bring it back to the Plan Commission here. Should I go through each one of them? Okay. So what we'd like to do, fellow Plan Commission members here, if we could use one of your charts, if you could hold that up. Are they both the same? I can't remember what you said. The one that.
Want the overall?
This one here, yeah. Yep. I just want to give the Plan Commission here an opportunity for any questions or discussion. And if you just point to, let's start with Exhibit 1. If you could just kind of outline that for us.
Sure. Exhibit 1 is this parcel right here. It's in section 532.5. It is along Marble Powers ditch, and it is.
Okay. Any questions, comments, discussion on that particular exhibit?
That's the parcel that has the water discharge.
Discharge of the pump. Well,
Is that an inlet too, or just a discharge?
I'm not sure exactly what it is. I think it's a discharge. But there's a structure on this.
It is. Brian Cordham is our Director of Environmental Policy and Permitting, and he said it is an intake and a discharge area.
Any other questions from the Plan Commission on that particular exhibit, Exhibit 1? Okay.
Just so everybody knows
Go
that
ahead,
is,
Brian. Go
yeah,
ahead.
just so everybody knows that is in 8.74 parcel. 8.74 acre parcel.
Good.
On that one section.
Yep. Anyone else on that one? Okay, if you just, again, outline for us Exhibit 2.
Exhibit 2 is across the section line, so it would be due west of that parcel. Has a similar purpose as the one we just talked about. So that would be up here in the conservation area.
Anything on Exhibit 2 from the Plan Commission?
Looks like on Beacon, it's a larger wooded area at a 10.79.
Anything else? Okay, Exhibit 3.
Exhibit 3, there's a small parcel in this area, and then there's the transmissions line. This keeps things out, so look, you're probably gonna say the acreage, right?
You bet.
And
Ditch acreage is 12.17. And a 33.21 on the overheads.
yeah, so it's smaller acreage is this piece here, a larger acreage.
Any questions, comments, discussion on Exhibit 3? Okay, Exhibit 4.
Exhibit 4 is again back on the west, the east, excuse me, of that exhibit. So there's a line, a sliver of a parcel that runs along the section north and south, and has a similar use. We just discussed.
Anything on Exhibit 4 from the Plan Commission?
Looks like to me that's part of that same 12. Is there 2 parcels on that one there? Unless I'm missing it here somewhere.
1 and 4. 1 and 4 connected. Brian's up here.
Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like a 12.17. I'm trying to distinct it out, but I can't find the lines.
That's their driveway going back.
Okay. So it's not.
Anything on Exhibit 4? Exhibit 5.
Exhibit 5 is lies further to the east. And there is a triangle piece that lies just south of the river. That parcel is currently being used agriculturally. And basically we stated that all of these parcels would be our own by NIPSCO, and we wanted to zone all of them to that use. And so that's what that parcel is.
33.77.
Any questions on Exhibit 5? Okay, 6, Exhibit 6.
Exhibit 6 is due south of that. We have a quarter and 2 half quarters, so that's 80 acres, and 160 acres in these parcels. And so these directly adjoin these 2 half quarter sections, which are currently zoned ISU. They're currently used agriculturally, and then immediately to the east of these properties is the solar fields that are not licensed.
Anything on Exhibit 6?
So on Exhibit 6, a part of that is what's currently being used for construction of the peaker plant, as I drive by it.
I believe that activity is happening in this parcel here. So it would be the half section that's currently zoned I2.
It's in the southwest quarter of Exhibit 6 there. And half that parcel is zoned I2, half that parcel is zoned A1. So I guess my question is, why was there no need to zone that parcel one way or the other prior to construction. And now it's important.
Is it
You hit that
currently
second bill.
used as a staging and laydown area? I have, we can come back.
It's gravel and fence, so I don't know.
Jake, can you point out on there where we're talking?
Yeah, it would be, no, it would be up,
Or are you talking?
it would be, no, it would be right there where your fingers are.
Here.
Yep, north half of that 160. So half of it lies in the I-2, half of it lies in the A1. Yes. Yep.
Any other discussion on exhibit 6? You good, Ryan? Good. Okay, exhibit 7.
Exhibit 7 lies this prop on the far west side of the property. It's Road 49. There's a agricultural parcel there that is the adjoining line here is also I-2.
Right here.
And so this parcel is owned by NIPSCO, and they just like to incorporate the same zoning here.
So the parcel ID on the whole property, which doesn't show the different zoning on my map, is 478. So what that would look like would be, you have that number off the top of your head or no?
This number here?
Yes.
So that's 320. The 200 acres. Which, well, I do have in your package, there's a legal description on the exhibit.
Yeah, there is.
We don't have that one. Or I don't.
Yeah, so then there should be a legal description and it's.
We can just. There it is.
Yeah, it's to about 200 acres.
Any questions on exhibit 7? Okay, 8.
Exhibit 8 then goes again back over to the far east side and it lies south of exhibit 6. And there is a 160 acre parcel, so that's that quarter, and then half of the quarter, there is another 80 acres. So that is.
What's the current use on that?
Current use on that is agricultural, and again, directly across 300 are solar fields that are now owned by NIPSCO.
Any discussion on exhibit 8? And then exhibit 9 is the one that was exempt because of Wheatfield. Okay. Okay, thank you for that.
We'll be taking that rezoning out with the concrete.
Okay. Right. Okay, so we wanted to go through each of those. Does that cover? Mary requested that we do that, so.
Yeah.
And on all those exhibits, there is no planned construction at all.
Yeah, that is correct. There is no plan. We have no plans to share, no site plans, no engineering final, and anything on those properties. The reason being is, you want to make sure that we have the appropriate zoning prior to moving forward with plans. And I'll state again, in due time, we would want to come back and share all that information. And let us know. I mean, if we need to share more information specifically about the rezone request, we'll take questions. If there's more opportunity to have discussion, you think that's appropriate. Again, this is a rezoning request. It's not specific to the projects or any potential projects that we may move forward.
Yeah, Lana, pull your mic down. Lana, so that people on the Zoom can hear you.
You kept referring to our comprehensive plan. What page and what exactly are you referring to in the?
So in chapter agree on future uses. There's a rezoning map. The map, yeah.
19.
I have it in my.
I'm just,
Here's the map.
because I'm wondering if you're referring to
Yeah, there.
this. Uh-huh.
The gray up at the north side of the county up here is the area that was earmarked by the commissioners that put together that comprehensive plan to be zoned I2. And many of the parcels that we're talking, actually the parcels that we're talking about are in there as being zoned as I2.
The gray says government. Are you referring to the blue that refers to general commercial? I mean, this is where NIPSCO would be
Right
located.
here, we're asking rezone this piece.
So the
this
blue that's
piece.
currently general commercial?
No, it's been industrial. I2 is currently zoned ag. This is the future use
Okay.
plan.
Because I was just curious, because when you look at the definition underneath industrial, it's more of a general usage. Industrial says land used or designated for manufacturing, distribution, assembly, warehousing, and the like.
Yeah.
So if you're saying to me that your goal in your plan was referring to this comprehensive plan, and this is the definition underneath industrial that you want to be rezoned to, what are you looking underneath this definition then? Like,
So
why would you go I2 when you could pick any zoning? Why that one?
So the current property is zoned I2.
Mhm.
And so we're following that same zoning. The commissioners, when they put together that plan, envisioned the I2 zone to be in that area. Now, did they know that NIPSCO was going to use all of that for their use or another use? There are uses outlined in your I2 zone, which are pretty clear, and that those uses would be allowed, and any other uses that would be proposed in that area would need to go through another special process.
Yeah.
And so what we're saying is that irrespective of the use, the intended zoning classification, which defines an area where a county says, we want this area to be residential. We want this area to be commercial. So you have commercial districts along your major highways. That's where you put your businesses, your gas stations, your shopping malls, that kind of thing. And then you separate that out into R2, R3. So you maybe have a high density residential, and then you transition to R1, and then you get out into your ag. So you might have rural zoning and RR zoning or something like that. So that is a strategic plan, a comprehensive plan that outlines what the county would like to see as far as zoning in the county. And that gives you guys a roadmap. Basically, and when you consider requests for a zone change, how do you look at that? What is your matrix by which you evaluate those requests? And so the planners who put together that document outlined this area to be I2 zone. And with all the classifications and all the approved uses that could go into that I2 zone. And what we're saying is that NIPSCO owns those properties. They have an I2 zone right next to it, and consistent with your master plan, we would like to request that we follow your master plan and rezone those properties to be that I2 zone. And that all the permitted uses that would be associated with that zoning classification could be done in that area. And that if there's any other uses, would have to go through any of the formal processes with the county to do that. And so that's why we're saying we don't have specific plans, because we have to have the zoning, and then if there's something further that needs to be done, we will go through that process. There'll be development plans, there's any number, there's got to go through the drainage board. There's a number of processes which we would need to go through public meetings.
and we want to go through those. We're not seeking any variances or any exceptions from any of the county ordinances on drainage, on requirements for drawdown on wells. All of those are very valid questions, and I can understand completely why they're being asked. But at this stage in the process, we're asking for a rezone of these properties to be consistent with your master plan document, which is the justification. If we were coming to you and asking for a rezone to an I2 zone in the middle of nowhere, not nowhere, but in the middle of the country, where it's all ag and there's no other agricultural use around it, or no other business use, no other industrial use, that would be spot zoning, and that would be completely discouraged. And what we have here is a document that the commissioners put together and said, this is what we would like to see for zoning classifications within Jasper County.
Which means it's, open for any type of variable. And I understand, like I said, the I2, the plant is currently functioning on that property underneath that category. Right now, the proposal, when you look at the district intent for I2, there's a whole list of different
allowable uses. Yeah.
Yes. So that's why my question was what the intent was, because why rezone, unless you're going to say, oh yeah, well, on number 2, we were looking at expanding for assembly, the food processing, out of all these categories. But you were saying that you have no idea why you're wanting to go I2, but you're saying that because my book says that it's a future plan, which that's what that means, future at any given time, 5 years, 100 years. The same thing for proposals of subdivisions. So that's why I'm just kind of, it's like it's a random, like I want I2, but I can't come to you underneath the listings of businesses that function are I2. You're not picking any of these.
They don't seem ready, do they?
Gentlemen, you seem disingenuous to me
Yeah.
because you have filings with state agencies outlining plans, and you come here and tell us there are no plans. You have that same.
Hold down, please.
Hold on. That same filing says that 2,300 megawatt gas plant could be online as soon as 2027. That is a huge construction project. I would guess those parts are already ordered. I mean, you just can't pull that out of a hat. So if you want to come here, I feel like you ought to be pretty honest with the folks in this room.
We need to be more transparent for sure.
Yeah. I will say, I understand the question, and we did say that we did put forth a request for generation at that site. We definitely have. There's no question. However, that's a portion of the due diligence, right? Just like, getting approval through the drainage board or any other entity. So yes, we are lining up to potentially look to come back to you, and hence the reason for the request to an I2 for a project. But to say that we have a project that's completely understood in motion, that is not true at this time.
That is different than we have no plans.
The ERIS application to MISO is a step in that process to say, we are considering a project here. And this is a piece of that, a step, right, to get the approval from the I2 zoning to consider that project to move forward. We're looking at multiple locations throughout our service territory. Again, this is a great area because we have the transmission. We have the assets there that allow this to happen fairly, I would say, efficiently. We know that it's an existing area where we've had generation in the past. I'd like to think we've been good neighbors, good stewards in the community as part of that process. And that's why we're here today seeking the rezone.
And if I can just, add to that. So if we were to make a petition, so in order to formally speak in front of you, we need to make a formal petition. And in order to make that petition, there are requirements. And so there's detailed engineering plans that would need to be submitted. And those are the documents that are not prepared. And so when we say that there's not a project, an actionable project, we can't come in front of you with something specific when those plans have not been prepared because of the process. That engineering effort is tremendous. And there's a lot of questions that need to be answered through that process. And we are willing to do that, and we want to do that. But in order to do that, we need to have the zoning classification that goes along with that use. And so that is our request, and it's related. There are a number of parcels here, and so we're also looking long-term. Part of the comment was, you've had these properties since 1970 and you haven't done anything. That's a fair statement. I think, if we were looking in the rear view mirror, we'd say, man, we really should have rezoned those when we first bought them. But as we go through this process, we are saying we own those properties. We'd like to add them to that zoning classification. And it's reasonable because as we look at the comprehensive plan, we see that the county has said the area is the area of the county that we see in industrial use. The Schaefer generation plant is there currently. That's an industrial type use. There are other industrial type users in that area. And so it makes sense from a zoning perspective that we would group all of our industrial zoning in that area. And so that is what our request is.
But I think what we're asking for is that you have plans for something. You have an idea for something. Yes, there's steps to go through to get it approved, but you're not even admitting or didn't admit that you were trying to do that. I will say to your defense, a lot of people said that you weren't good neighbors and nothing good came from NIPSCO. Well, I will say one thing on their behalf. Look at your school. You wouldn't have the facilities in KV School Corporation that you have if it wasn't for NIPSCO. For every pro, there's a con. I will agree. As far as approving any of these plans, I'd be more ready to approve a parcel if I knew what the exact purpose was in your plan. If your plan would to be to generate energy to supply a data factory, I wouldn't approve it. Because this county, I don't believe, my opinion, but you're not applauding me. I don't think, my personal opinion, this county can afford the water supply to take care of a data center. And I would vote every day against it. If you're wanting to put up a generating station to meet peak demands, you turn it on for peak demands, I'd be in favor of it. I don't like progress all the time, but progress is going to occur. But I don't want all the negatives to come with it either. The older I get, the more skeptical I get of big companies and government. And both need to be more transparent.
Yeah, and I just, if I can, I appreciate the comment, and you're right. Investment in the community does have some benefit, job creation, job retention, tax investment, tax revenue for the county, schools, roads, all kinds of government, improvements. I know I opened up and talked about, I believe it's different commissioners. I know it's different commissioners that we worked with when we talked about and announced that we were going to close Schaefer. That was a huge issue or a huge detriment, a huge hole to fill for the county. And, I know one gentleman said disingenuous. No, I do not. I will tell you right now, we are not up here to be disingenuous in any stretch of the imagination. We are considering a project. It has made the newspaper. We've shared it with some leaders as well. It has been in the Times. But we want to have open, transparent dialogue and communication. But as we stand here right now, we don't have plans for a project. We are looking to pave the way for an opportunity, but don't have plans. And we need the zoning to be in place as part of the due diligence process to continue down that path. And that's the plan. I mean, and I can tell you, and I opened up that we truly do appreciate the relationship that we have with Jasper County, with the commissioners, with the council, communication. Could we do better at times? Any corporation running a large coal plant, seeing some development improvements and so forth? Absolutely, no question. Communication is the key to making sure that we're working together in your community and we're minimizing any impact that we have on you. And there's way more pros than there is cons. But I can tell you up here standing tonight, our plan is to just position the site for potential future growth. Nothing is cut and dry at this time.
I'd like to ask you two gentlemen to come forward just to kind of boil this down in my head, and all of the Plan Commission members have the agenda. It was public. But you just look at down through here, rezone. Primary approval for a 2-lot subdivision. That's the reason. Location, etc. Rezone. Split the existing homestead and garage from the parent tract. If we get down to the cause that we're on right now,
Nothing.
see the difference in detail. And this is just the agenda. So, and I'm not trying to simplify this, but these are husband and wife property owners. So that's the pile on what Dave is saying, but go ahead.
And I think there's been a lot of great feedback back and forth tonight. I think there's been some great points made. I really was impressed with the lady on the Zoom. Mary said that she had documentation on that. I would like for her to pass that all along to all of our commission members so we can read that and absorb that a little bit more. There were some really important points I think that she made at that point. I don't think we're ready, guys. I mean, that's my opinion. I agree with Dave a lot with what he said. I agree with Jake as well. Lana made some great points. And I would like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to table this. I would like to absorb this. This has all kind of hit us. It's hit the public. We need to be more transparent with the public. We need to stop hiding things from people, and we need to let people know. No applause, please. We need to let people know what's going on in our neighborhoods. We need to be open. We need to be real with each other. At first, you gentlemen came up and you acted like you guys didn't know what was going on until a couple people in the audience stepped up and called your bluff. And then we started backing up and saying, well, yes, there are things planned, this and that. Let's be straight up right off the bat. Let's be a little bit more transparent with the people that we serve, and the people that you serve as well. So my motion is to table this matter until we could collectively come together as a group, put our heads together, do a little bit more homework on this topic, and gather some more information from what Mary's got from the people out there. Possibly have our attorney do a little bit of homework for us. Mary and I have discussed some of that a little bit too. And that's what I'm proposing here. Instead of going back and forth and talking until midnight here, I think let's do our due diligence for the people in this room and both sides, and let's put our heads together on this and try to make the best decision for all. Second.
So can we clarify the motion?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So are you voting to continue this cause?
You were on, you shut it off.
Yeah, you were on.
There you go.
Are you voting to continue this cause?
We need more time. We can sit here all night and go back and forth with things. But we need to absorb what they're asking for. I think we need to educate ourselves a little bit more. I think we might need you to do a little bit of homework for us through Mary on,
that's all I wanted to suggest is you need to indicate a date and time, then you'll take the cause back up.
Yeah, I think 60 days. If I can just clarify what you're asking for our sake. Are you asking that the public hearing be continued to next month, or are you closing the public hearing and we are going to be discussing the matter with the council. And I have no strong opinion either way. We just want to know.
So you're continuing what we, like Todd says, we need a date, next meeting or?
No. At least,
You said 60 days, so that'd be December.
60 days.
So that'd be the December
It'd be
meeting.
December meeting.
So if you want to restate that.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And I would, I would suggest you put something in there about the public comment also. Are you going to take additional public comment? We've done this before like this, or is that closed off?
And I don't think we need that, but yeah, thanks for clarifying that, Todd. I didn't catch all that. I just, we're going to be here all night going back and forth with some things here. And clearly, you know.
So I heard you mention something about, it's a December meeting.
We haven't voted on it yet.
Oh, okay.
Motion hasn't been clearly stated. Yeah, there's a first and a second.
So restate that so everybody is clear.
Okay, I will, now you guys got me all, words. I said what I said. I'd like to go with that, but 60 days to continue.
Continue. Yep.
Second on Justin.
What's the date on that? Just so we all know.
December 15th.
December 15th, seconded by Justin. And I want to show hands on this. All those in favor of continuing per the motion to the December 15th scheduled meeting, raise your right hand. Got it, Kelly? Yep. Those opposed? Okay, so this is continued to the December meeting, December 15th.
December 15th.
Yep.
All right. Public already got a chance to speak. I think that you guys all had plenty enough time to speak. I don't think we need to hear anything from the public again. We're just continuing this meeting then, so we can do our due diligence for all of you in the room. There's no need for
We're
them to
continuing
represent
right
either.
from the discussion we ended with, continuing on.
Okay,
So
sounds good.
Oh,
we're continuing our board internal discussion with the applicants present, with the public present. Yes.
Without public comment.
Without comment, correct.
Right.
Okay,
Thank you very much for your time this evening.
Thank you.
so that's the December meeting. Just as we always want to make sure everybody has the November meeting date, if there is an agenda.
17th.
November 17th and in a known agenda yet?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay, appreciate everybody's participation. Mike, I didn't want to leave you out from Rensselaer. Anything? Okay, thank you for being here though. We'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Meeting's adjourned.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Simple. I didn't.
Yeah, but I was